Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger comic book review. We've gone through the one indie book and DC Comics. We are now in Marvel, where there's a lot of books from Marvel. Avengers Academy number 38, Avengers vs. X-Men in football. This takes place after AVX. The only reason I'm reviewing this before AVX is because, that's going to be the book that's going to take the longest to talk about and discuss, because now we're going to talk about how the series ended and everything else. So, it's a football game. At first it's Avengers versus X-Men, then they switch up the teams, and basically it's a way of acclimating the whole new, like, now the Avengers are working with the X-Men, so they want to actually show some teaming up with the kids too, show the kids fair game. Warbird and Quicksilver have this moment here for some weird reason. I don't know why. She kisses every single person. And then also in this book, X-23 finds out that, I know I'm going to say her name wrong, so I'm just going to, Finis used her while she was unconscious she used her blades in the last issue to kill Jeffrey, and she's not too happy about that. She's pretty pissed off. She actually says, "I usually kill people that do that." And she's like, "Laura, I made a choice, and I trust you won't tell anybody, and it seems like you've got a few choices to make yourself." And she walks off cold and disgusting. This was a fun book. The artwork was enjoyable. The story was enjoyable. The next issue is the last issue, and it's coming out next month. And then we go into Avengers Arena. I'm going to give issue 1 a shot, and I hope that they put the issues out every other week so I can read issue 1 and figure out if I want it. But to be honest, and everybody's saying the exact same thing, Avengers Arena sounds like Survivor meets the Avengers, Runaways, and whomever else is going to be mixed into Avengers Arena. Just my opinion as well. It's up to you guys. I'm going to get the first issue, give it a shot. If it's not interesting, I won't keep it. I'm not a fan of the whole Survivor BS nonsense, so I'll probably end up dropping it. Yeah. So I would say check it out. It was a fun issue. It's a standalone issue. It's football, it's Wolverine, it's the X-Men, and it's the Avengers Academy kids having a good time, wrapping things up there. Wow, in Uncanny X-Force, it's funny, they actually said at the end of Final Extinction it's the final issue, so I'm wondering if they're going to renumber Uncanny X-Force. But anyway, Final Execution, Uncanny X-Force 32. Deadpool ran in ahead of everybody to get to Evan. Wolverine and Psylocke are close behind. Things go wrong for Deadpool, and Evan actually turns on the team. Age of Apocalypse, Nightcrawler meets up with Mystique. Mystique has a way of manipulating him, and Wolverine and Psylocke show up. There's a fight between Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Psylocke tries to save Deadpool, and then for some reason...
No, that looks like Shredder.
Yeah, that's actually... I forgot his name. Hold on. I'll give you guys his name. No, it's before this. Okay. Black Shadow. Black Shadow King invades Psylocke's head, and this is where they leave Psylocke off in this issue. And then one of the team members, I'm not going to say who, turns on Wolverine because of revenge. I might do an in-depth review of this so you guys will be able to see. I'll spoil it in 3 seconds, so if you want, just fast forward. I'm only going to say the person's name once. 1, 2, 3. It turns out Nightcrawler from the Age of Apocalypse betrays Wolverine because he wants revenge against the Blob. He wants to kill him because he's the one that killed his wife, and he's willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means turning on X-Force to do it. Which once again leads me to believe an issue back when Wolverine was holding somebody who was shadowed, it's probably Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Really good issue. I'm loving this. I feel bad that in 3 more issues we're going to be saying goodbye to X-Force. I'll get the number 1 to Uncanny X-Force, or the number 36 if they continue the numbering system. and see how it goes with Psylocke, because Psylocke apparently is the main focus then for the Uncanny X-Force. If it's good, I'll hold on to it. If it's not, well, there are other things to do. Daredevil End of Days, issue 1 of 8. An 8-month-long
So that's a mini series.
Yeah, this is Daredevil End of Days. It's not the Daredevil. And this basically takes place in the future, the near future, a couple of years down the road, where Daredevil dies. I say dies because, well, I'm not going to show you guys the graphic page of how he died. You're going to have to read the book. But basically, the artwork turned me off to this book at first. This is the artwork. I was not a fan of it. I looked through the book. I said, okay, I'm not going to be a fan of this. I'm probably going to end up dropping it at issue 1. However, that's not the case. After reading this book, it's all about the reporter Ben Urich, who is. This takes place after Daredevil. Thank you. I know. I just took a second to pause.
Yeah.
It takes place after Daredevil dies. It's up to Ben Urich to get the full story, like how it happened, like what the whole full rundown. This is once again years in the future. Paper is dead. Everything's digital now. And J. Jonah Jameson makes an appearance in the book, telling Ben Urich, I keep screwing up his name, Urich, to get the story. He goes around this entire page as I didn't see it, I don't want to know, none of my business, and everything like that.
You know, I'm sorry to interrupt. When you see Jonah Jameson, you kind of wonder if Peter Parker...
No. Anyway, no. Anyway, he meets one witness who said he heard Daredevil say something before he died, and the word was Mapon, M-A-P-O-N-E, Mapon. And he's like, I don't know what that means. Do you? And he's like, no, I have no idea. And now this is the thing that's going around, playing around in his mind. And then, for the middle of the book, they actually give the origin of Daredevil all over again. How he became Daredevil, why he became Daredevil. And then it goes into another story that didn't happen yet. I say yet because this sounds like it's more of an Elseworld story than the regular Marvel U. I could be wrong. Basically, Daredevil takes out Kingpin, and Daredevil becomes the Kingpin of Hell's Kitchen. And then years later, he goes a little bit cuckoo, and basically the Kingpin is working with the FBI, and he shows up back in Hell's Kitchen, and Daredevil shows up and says, "Get out, or else you're dead." I'm not gonna say what happened, but yeah, basically, he made good on his threat, and his only excuse was, "I tried everything else." And then we go back to the present where he's typing, he has no idea about anything, and then he gets mad, and at the end he's like, fine, I'll tell you a story. But the last page, however, is why I say Daredevil's dead. Because, yeah, and I'm not going to spoil the last page. We'll have to go to issue 2 to find out. I'm definitely going to be checking the rest of the series out now, because this series looks interesting, and I'm wondering, it leaves me wanting to see what happens next, especially after that last page. So, that's Daredevil End of Days. I leave it up to you guys. Artwork's pretty good. I'll be doing an in-depth review of this if you want to know what the last page was on Dark Avenger Inc. There we go. See, now that's when you say you're reviewing something on Dark Avenger Inc. Yeah. We have 2 more books, and then we go into AVX. So hopefully I'll be able to stretch these 2 books out long enough so we can go into a part 3 so you guys won't have to worry about me having to wrap things up fast. Amazing Spider-Man 695. Spidey's SpiderSense in this book goes exactly how the cover goes. There we go. I feel better now. My lips were too dry.
So his SpiderSense went a little bit.
His SpiderSense tingled so much that that's what happened.
Oh my God!
It tingled so much that it drove him crazy. So instead of turning off Spider-Man's SpiderSense, the machine that the guy was working on for Kingpin, it enhanced it so much that his SpiderSense didn't stop going. And apparently Spider-Man got a suitcase that the Kingpin wants, so the Kingpin wants to get it back. And then here's the part, and it's going to play into the end. It turns out that Sally Floyd from the Daily Planet... I'm so happy. I'm screwing up like crazy. It's 3 in the morning. Don't judge me. from the Daily Bugle shows up, and she actually is going to run a story about Peter Parker being Spider-Man's tech. What's the word I'm looking for? Tech. He designs all the tech for Spider-Man. He goes to the Daily Bugle and tries to get Robbie to not print it. You know, don't put it to press. And it's already too late. It's put to press. And Hobgoblin is there with his girlfriend. Ben and his girlfriend are there, and basically the machine goes crazy again. Pete's SpiderSense is completely plumb loco, and then there's a humongous splash page here where Madam Web, whose name, why does it escape me? Julia, thank you. And it's a huge foreshadow, not in just Spider-Man, but in Minimum Carnage, FF, The Incredible Hulk, all new X-Men, Venom. What else do we got? Uncanny Avengers, Deadpool.
Is this
X-Men AVX Consequences?
Oh,
Scarlet Spider. Actually, this picture comes from the next book, so don't worry. The Future for Doc Ock.
Spider-Man.
No, Daredevil.
Is that Daredevil?
That's Daredevil.
Oh, look like Miles Morales.
And who else do we have here? Captain Marvel.
What's this one over here?
I don't know. I couldn't figure that one out. I couldn't figure that one out. Captain America. So basically, it's a foreshadowing of everything. I don't know. It's a foreshadowing of everything, and then she shows up and warns Pete to stay away from Flash of something you can't ignore, Flash of Gold, and then she disappears. And what you're left to wonder is Hobgoblin. Basically, Ben actually says, "I have." Kingpin calls Ben and says, "I need to locate Spider-Man." He's like, "Funny you should mention it. I'm going to tell you I've got it. I was just going to tell you I got it covered." He shows up. Pete's going completely nuts because of his spider sense. He looks like he's on drugs, basically. Hobgoblin shows up, and I'm going to spoil the ending for a reason. And he takes Pete away, and he's like, his last line is, "Finally got one over on you, Spider-Man." Wait a minute. Maybe everybody's jumping the gun saying maybe he knows Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And that might very well be the case. I could be wrong, but I want you guys to think about something. Remember, in the middle of this book, because that's a very good way to leave it off, because people are going to think that he knows he's Spider-Man, and then by the next book it's going to be like, no. Remember, they just posted an article here about Peter Parker being Spider-Man's tech support, not tech support, being the person that designs all the technology for Spider-Man. So, they're having trouble with the Spider Jammer. Think about it. Maybe Hobgoblin's taking Pete to fix the Spider Jammer, because remember, they just said in this issue that he designed all this technology for Spider-Man.
And to design tech for Hobgoblin.
Right, so basically Hobgoblin's going to take him back to Kingpin to fix the tech. Possibly. I could be wrong. He might think that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Remember, it's just a Doctor Strange spell. If it gets too, like, if people can connect one and one about Peter Parker and Spider-Man, the spell is broken, and they remember that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. While also the original Hobgoblin is now back in New York. Mm-hmm. I'm set up for the Hobby Wars. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see
5 more issues up until 700.
A $7.99 700 issue, yeah. Really good. Picked up, it absolutely picked up from the Alpha story. After Alpha, I thought that this was all downhill, but Dan Slott picked up. And it was mentioned this week, there's a spoiler, or not a spoiler, a teaser image that says Superior. It's in blue and red, and guess what? Dan Slott, Ramos, and I forgot the other names, but all the artists that have done Spider-Man and the writer for Spider-Man. What do you think Supreme is? Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There you go. So Spider-Man's coming back, and Dan Slott is actually sticking with Spider-Man. So that's a good thing. Let's just hope Alpha doesn't come back.
Oh, please, no.
Now, before we get into anything AVX, and we have 13 minutes left. Another book I'm going to be talking about on Dark Avenger Inc. Minimum Carnage Alpha.
I didn't get a chance to read that, actually.
Oh, you didn't get a chance to read it? Well, I'm going to spoil a little bit for you now, and a little bit for you later. I'm going to do my in-depth reviews for everything tomorrow. Oh, man, come on with this ink on these covers nowadays. So, Carnage breaks out, and we don't know why. We don't know how he broke out yet, but somebody broke him out. Venom shows up at the prison where Carnage was. It takes place right after Venom, by the way. Remember the last issue of Venom led into this. And Venom's trying to find answers to how Carnage broke out. Wow. There was something here. Security footage, something about Cassidy broke out, Carnage has escaped, so we're going to go get him. And then all of a sudden we are in, I want to say it's, no it's not. So we have Carnage on the road, and the police try to stop him, and they get killed. We don't know how. It wasn't Carnage though. Somebody's working with Carnage and we don't know yet. At first we believe it's invisible. They think it's a person that's invisible, but the cameras at the facility that was holding Carnage, they say we have scanners for that. And then they see a little tiny microscopic being on the back of one of the security officers that were killed. The artwork in this book's really good, by the way, also. I'll show you guys a picture of Scarlet as soon as I get to him, and Carnage also. So it turns out that the place that he calls up and he finds out some information about technology that could shrink people, or a new universe, so to speak, which we find out later on. And it turns out the place that makes the tech for shrinking is in Texas. Enter the Scarlet Spider. And here's the picture you saw.
Yeah, that was from Madam Web. Yeah.
And it turns out Scarlet Spider shows up at a burning building to see if there's any survivors. It turns out that a bunch of people were killed except one person. We get more information and we know exactly where Carnage is going. He's going to the NASA, which is where the machine, the shrinking machine. I don't want to tell what the shrinking machine is. You guys are gonna have to wait. Here's Carnage, by the way. And the woman that invented the shrinking machine is Scarlet Spider. Shows up to try to stop Carnage, and then it's revealed that these little miniature, the people that were attacking, the mini people, are the ones that helped break Carnage out and have been protecting him. Carnage wants to leave the Marvel Universe, and basically through the shrinking process they found an entire new universe, or I forgot, Nora was there, I believe it's Nora, and she was interviewing the Doctor at the moment, Dr. Cachola, and basically the article was about a subatomic universe. Basically you shrink small enough, there's a subatomic universe within the actual universe. And this machine was made to, you said you were trying to find a way to plunder the natural resources of another world. And she's like, yeah, of course, I don't even remember your name, yeah. I don't know who you are.
I was just going to say, I think Nora's from the Punisher series as well.
Well, she gets thrown into the microverse because Carnage ends up turning on the machine, throws her in, he jumps in himself, and then the ending is Venom shows up, and Scarlet Spider is the only man left after Carnage escapes. What do you think is going to happen next? All superheroes that don't know each other end up fighting, then teaming up.
Yep.
Looks like they're fighting here and then teaming up in the next issue. Really good though. I'm loving this series so far. As I said, stay tuned. I will do an in-depth review where I go through each and every one of these pages, page by page. I left a lot out, and I did that on purpose. Want to save something. I don't want to say the exact same thing over again. But it was a really good book. I would definitely say check out Minimum Carnage Alpha. It's going to run through Venom and Scarlet Spider through issues 10 and 11 for Scarlet Spider, 26 and 27 for Venom, and then it all concludes in Minimum Carnage Omega, which is going to be another one-shot. Really good. The artwork's really good. I love the cover. I forgot who does the artwork on the cover, but it's really good. The entire issue was really good. I love the cover. I'm glad they put the free thing on the top.
Is it Cullen Bunn?
No, Cullen Bunn's the writer.
Oh.
But anyway, love the cover, love the internal artwork, love the story. Check out Minimum Carnage. It continues from where Carnage USA left off.
Yeah,
this is the next chapter in the Carnage rundown. And how long do we have? We have 8 minutes. You know what? Do the first AVX book, which is yours.
Yes. Avengers vs. X-Men 6/6, the last and final issue. I have
Versus. It's called Versus.
Yes. I do have to say the first match between Hope and the Black Witch, I think, was good.
Scarlet.
Oh, sorry, Scarlet Witch. But then after that, it kind of got a little bit...
Stupid.
Yeah, like random-ish thrown into it. And I'll get to that.
It was a cop-out. They did a good first Versus. I saw the book. That's why I'm saying it. It's a cop-out.
Scarlet Witch versus Hope. And the fight was, like, really intense. Like, I was, like...
I laughed at who won.
Yeah, like, basically, like, when they're fighting each other, and the fun facts, of course.
And then the advertisement for A+X. You could show that really quick. Which is an ongoing. A lot of people don't know if it's an ongoing or a mini. It is an ongoing. From what I heard, it's ongoing.
Yep.
That's a nice splash page.
Yeah, and then this one with the fun fact of yin and yang.
Which is mentioned actually in AVX 12, but I'll get into that.
Right. And then the winner of that, because Captain America interfered saying, you know, what are you doing?
He distracted him. And you know what's funny? The way this ended is not how it ended in AVX 12, so there's no consistency in this book.
Yeah, but when Hope said Wanda, you know, shook hand and with a smirk, the winner of this one was Hope.
Sucker punch.
Yeah. Or Hope punch. Yeah. And then it just gets into...
This is where the cop-out started.
I mean, they had
this?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see this page with the artwork like this.
Basically, they're like doing a verbal abuse thing of Captain America and Cyclops, and it was like a...
And then this one between Beast and
Beast and it's like a science battle, and they're like saying...
And we have no idea.
Yeah.
Havoc versus Captain America.
Captain America. It was like one page. Havoc won. I'm like...
And then, no, he didn't win. The star... Here's the star. Because the X office put this book together.
Yeah. This one, I couldn't believe. Hope versus Domino.
And Domino's a mini person.
And look who won. Domino.
Domino Smash.
Domino Smash. I was like, okay, seriously. And then we get to Toad versus...
Jarvis!
Yeah, and look who won in the end. Jarvis.
The heck is Toad versus Jarvis? And then this, of all things. Spider-Woman versus Emma Frost versus Storm versus Psylocke, and it's all a...
And then Spider-Woman versus X-Woman, kinda, and the winner, you. Yeah, and then, wait, this gets better. Iron Fist versus Iceman was the next one, and it was kind of a little okay battle. And
this is the only good one.
Yeah, and the winner, to spoil it, was Iceman. And the ending page, Squirrel Girl versus Pixie.
What the hell did I just look through?
So technically,
don't get part 6.
And winner was rolled 208s to find out. I'm like saying, okay, let me just have something to say about this. Okay. You have an okay, good match between Scarlet Witch and Hope.
That was hard.
But then, it's like the writers are saying, let's just put this, and that in, because we ran out of ideas. We have no more matchups. You put Cyclops versus Captain America verbal abuse in it, then the scientists and all that. And
that was funny.
And then you confused the whole thing. You put everything...
And then, I'm sorry, but the one with Hawkeye having the dream...
When I was on my ghost, I was like, what was I just reading?
They copped out. They copped out on the last Versus part.
I mean, I'm a random type person guy, but that was like all over the place. That made my mind almost come out of my head. It was Scarlet Witch... Between Scarlet Witch versus Hope and Iron Fist versus Iceman, that's the good thing about this book. But guys, when you read this, make sure your mind is seatbelt and buckled up, because it's going to be a random, weird, bumpy ride that's going to make your mind come out of your head. Just as a heads up. But they didn't have to end it like that. Seriously.
It was so dumb.
It was dumb.
Are you still going to read A+X?
Hopefully, if it's not going to be like this... Let's see how it is, but oh my god, guys, just...
Alright, we have 3 minutes left, 2 books left. We'll see you guys in the next part.
Yep.
Where we'll do these books.
Even reading it again, my mind's... Ugh. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to get a drink after this video, or water or apple juice or whatever.
Yeah, Mike doesn't drink, so...
No, absolutely not, and never plan to.
Straight edge, what can I say? We'll see you guys in part 3, where we're going to do some in-depth reviewing of 2 books at the same time. And the only reason I'm not doing this book is an in-depth review on Dark Avenger Inc. I'll explain at the end of the third part. See you guys in part 3 where we're going to talk about these 2 books and full series. See you guys there. Don't miss out on part 3. You're not going to want to. It's AVX if you want a little bit of a foreshadowing. See you guys in a click. It'll be a second for us.